What's up YouTube, Britannia here with Bumblebee Technology, and I'm back with another video. Now, a couple of days ago, Samsung just had their Unpacked event in New York, in which they finally unveiled the Samsung Galaxy Note 5. This is a very highly anticipated device. So now that it's released, it's time for me to give you guys my first impressions. So in this video, I'm giving you guys my first impressions of the all-new Samsung Galaxy Note 5. So let's get started. Now let's start off with the design. Now this is the most striking difference between the Galaxy Note 5 and the Note 4. And let me explain to you why. Now last year with the Note 4, Samsung started to move to more premium materials, in which last year's Note 4 introduced a metal frame. Now this was a big step for Samsung because this pretty much started off the chain that led to the design of the Galaxy S6. So now with the Galaxy S6 being released with the all-new design, Samsung had to step it up and bring that design over to the Note 5, which is exactly what they did. So essentially the Note 5 looks like the Galaxy S6, in which it has a glass front and back panel along with a metal frame. So essentially what it looks like a bigger version of the Galaxy S6. And honestly, at first glance, this device looks beautiful. Just like the Galaxy S6, it's a beautiful phone and it looks amazing. A few other things that Samsung also included was curving the back so that way the phone doesn't feel that big in your hand. Now, the phone doesn't feel that big in your hand. Now, I personally don't know how this device feels in my hand, but from first impressions of it, it does look good. But as I mentioned earlier, it is basically a blown-up version of the Galaxy S6, and that's really all there is to it. So design-wise, the Galaxy Note 5 looks beautiful, but that doesn't mean it doesn't come with some downsides. Now, number one, the fact that Samsung moved to this design to a more premium design, it means that now they have to remove the removable battery and the expandable storage options. Now, this is going to be an issue for some users because a lot of people like to expand their storage and even carry multiple batteries with them to swap them out. That was pretty much what the Note line was made for power users that have a lot of options. But unfortunately with the design, Samsung had to remove it. But honestly, I think these are worth the changes and the design really looks beautiful. Now moving on to the specifications. Now the Note lineup is always Samsung's most powerful lineup. This is where Samsung puts in all their best specifications for their device. And the Note 5 is no exception. So the Note 5 still has the same 5.7-inch Quad HD display from the Note 4, which means it has a resolution of 2560 by 1440. It is also now being powered by the new Samsung Exynos 7420. This is the same CPU that's powering the Galaxy S6, and it's still a very powerful CPU as we've seen it compared to the Snapdragon 810. So the fact that Samsung carried it over makes it all the more better. Along with that, it also has the Mali-T GPU, same one found in the Galaxy S6. It also has 4 GB of DDR4 RAM, in which multitasking will be a breeze on this device. It also has 32 and 64 GB of storage options. Now, unfortunately, Samsung did not include a 128 GB storage option. So for those of you that are sad about the lack of microSD expansion, you might be out of luck here. Along with that, this device is powered by a 3000 mAh battery. Now, this is one of the most confusing aspects of this device that doesn't make sense to me. Because last year's Note 4 had a 3220 mAh battery, and now the battery size is 3000 mAh. So it kind of gets me a little confused on why Samsung would decrease the battery, and it's not even removable now, so it might turn some heads. But this device still features fast charging, in which you can plug the device in and get the device all charged up within an hour. And it also has wireless charging. And a new feature Samsung included was fast wireless charging, in which now your wireless charging time has been decreased by 1 hour, in which you can now wirelessly charge your device in 2 hours. So this is a big step, and this is amazing. I never expected Samsung to include this, but I'm glad they did. And it just shows how they are moving towards limiting the time you have to get your phone charged. And I'm a big fan. Now moving on to the camera. Now Now the camera of the Galaxy Note 5 is the same 16 megapixel optically image stabilized camera from the Galaxy S6, which we know is a great camera. It takes beautiful pictures that are sharp, has great colors, good white balancing. It's amazing. Along with that, the front-facing camera also got a resolution boost to 5 megapixels. Now, as you can see, the specs of the Note 5 pretty much say it all about the device. It's a very powerful device, as we all have expected it to be. Moving on to the software. Now, this is where Samsung had to take the biggest leap for the Note 5, along with the design. Now, last year's Note 4 software was great. We saw a lot of improvements such as the new multitasking features, the pop-up view, multi-window. Those were all great features. But the only problem was Samsung's old habits started to kick in which the device started to slow down. Things like the multitasking trait were lagging out, and performance was getting very weak day by day. And this is something Samsung had to improve for the Note 5. So with the release of the Galaxy S6, Samsung had to tone down TouchWiz and make it fast and smooth for the user to enjoy it. And that's exactly what they did for the Note 5. They essentially skinned down TouchWiz, but still kept the great features that everyone loves about it. So they kept the multi-window, they kept the pop-up view, which I am a huge fan of. Now, another aspect of the Galaxy Note 5, specifically the software, is the S Pen. Now, Samsung still kept the S Pen, but now the S Pen can be released with a new push mechanism, in which now you can push the S Pen in and it will pop right out. I think this is a great feature, and it will be it'll be a big habit for some people to constantly keep pushing it in and out. Along with that, the S Pen now looks more like a regular pen, in which now it has a clicking mechanism on the top, which some people will find very addicting. I know if I get my hand on this device, it will be a very addicting feature. So, and along with that, it does look like a pen, and it is a lot more premium to use. Now speaking of the S Pen, Samsung also had added some cool new features for the S Pen. Now the first notable feature of the S Pen that's new for the Galaxy Note 5 is the new way to take a note, to take quick notes. So essentially, when you deploy the S Pen using the spring functionality, the phone, while it's turned off, will enable you to jot down a quick note. So this means that the phone will be completely black. You'll just jot down a quick note and then put the S Pen back in, and the note is saved. This, I think, is a brilliant feature that Samsung included, especially for those of you that need to jot down some quick notes. You don't even have to worry. Just whip out your phone, take out the S Pen, start writing, put the S Pen back in, and the note is saved. This is a very useful feature, and I personally would see myself using this a lot. Now, along with that, there are some cool new features, such as you can now screen capture lists. So now, essentially, if you have a long list, you can continue to screen capture and join them all into one big list. And I think that's a pretty cool feature, especially if you want to take a screenshot of a large web page to send it to someone. It's useful. Along with that, there's the same old features such as the screen write, quick memo, and all those features. So software-wise, the Galaxy Note 5 has taken a big leap, in which now the software is toned down, it runs fast, it's smooth, and there's also some new S Pen functionalities, which makes this software experience all the more enjoyable. Anyways guys, so that was basically it. That was my first impression of the Galaxy Note 5. Essentially, the way I see it as a bigger version of the Galaxy S6, which isn't a bad thing by all means, as the Galaxy S6 is still a great phone, and it's one of the best phones Samsung has ever made. And I'm glad Samsung carried over some of the great aspects of that phone and brought it over to the Galaxy Note lineup. So that's pretty much it. Anyways guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave the video a thumbs up if you liked it, leave a dislike if you disliked it, subscribe to the channel if you're new, follow me on social media, and as always guys, I'm Hani from Bumblebee Technology, and I'll see you guys in the next video.